200. Where's the bottom of 200? So he says, so we were talking about Mashiach ben Yosef, and Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben Yosef connecting us with the mundane reality, getting things together, and Mashiach ben David connecting with the above, but not just connecting with the above, but to make the above and the supernal and the mundane become one. So, Aval Shuv Chaverim at the bottom of 200, 7 lines from the bottom, 8 lines. Aval Shuv Chaverim, אנחנו שמחפשים את הלמעלה, we who are looking for the higher level connection. Oh, David, here. This fellow Isaac is going to be calling you. Just let him get out. I'll tell you about it later. Yeah, I gave him your number. Bottom of page 200. אבל שוב חברים, אנחנו שמחפשים את הלמעלה, צריכים להיות מסודרים גם למטה בצורה הדחופה ביותר. We who are always looking for the supernal level of everything, we also have to be well organized here in this world. And it's very important. At Mashiach ben Yosef, אנחנו חשים קצת, we feel a little bit of Mashiach ben Yosef. ממש מרגישים את הכל. We sense, we hear, we feel the voice of קשרו אתכם, עצמכם שוב למעלה. Connect yourself above. So what was he saying before that Mashiach ben Yosef is saying? No, I'm sorry. He was saying that Mashiach ben Yosef, I made a mistake. Mashiach ben Yosef is giving us the voice of saying, connect yourself above. Right? That's what Mashiach ben Yosef was right. Mashiach ben Yosef is saying, connect yourself above, and Mashiach ben David is putting the supernal and the mundane, putting it back together. Okay, so we hear the voice of Mashiach ben Yosef about getting connected above. We need all that down here as well. Many people in Israel are crying, that they're crying for someone to connect them above. However, nobody is taking them inside. Gewalt. The Shuv, page 201. The Shuv, Anashim Rabim Yodim et Torah lemata. Then you have a lot of people that know the Torah here below, on this level. Hem Yodim Matai B'Diyot Ladik Nirot B'Yizenak Nikasher. They know exactly when candle lighting is, which hot dogs or salami is kosher, אבל הם לא מרגישים את הצורך של היהודים שיקשרו אותם למעלה. But they don't feel the need of the Jews who are yearning to be connected above. הדבר הראשון שיהודי רוצה הוא לא לדעת איזה נקניק לאכול, אלא שיקשרו אותו למעלה. The first thing that they want to know is they want to know that they want to be connected above.
You gave an example of that, of someone who really understands that. And that was the Rebbe who was crying.
Yeah.
This is what he was crying about, I think.
It's a little bit different, but yeah.
According to the way you explained it. According to the way you explained this.
Okay. So I think I shared the story already recently, where Reb Shlomo was visiting an army base. You remember the story? And Shalom.
My back.
You gave me a book. So Reb Shlomo was visiting this big army base, and the rabbi comes out and gives him a big shalom aleichem, and Shlomo says, "How are you doing? How are things here?" And he says to Reb Shlomo, he says, "I want you to know that the kitchen over here is 100% kosher. You can eat anything." Reb Shlomo says, "I didn't come to ask you about your kitchen. I want to know, are you learning Torah with the Chayalim?" And the rabbi says, "Are you kidding? These guys, they're totally not into it." Reb Shlomo says, "Are you sure? You want to bet?" And he says, "Yeah." And Reb Shlomo says, "How much money you got in your pocket?" He had a couple hundred shekels. He says, "You sure you want to bet?" So he says, "Yes." So Reb Shlomo goes over to a group of Chayalim that were standing around, smoking some cigarettes. And he goes over and he says, "Chevra, do you want to learn the sweetest Torah for 5 minutes?" And they said, "Yeah." And their commander had to come and drag them away a half an hour later. They didn't want to leave, So in other words, the people, yeah, of course people want to know what's kosher, what's not kosher, etc. But most of all, about Shiva wants to be connected above. Now, a number of years ago, I don't remember what year it was, but it was still in the 90s. Rabbi Riskin had this organization, I don't remember the name of it, but it was basically a program where they were training teachers and rabbis and chazonim who were going on shlichut to work in Chutz La'aretz. And they had they were having a convention, they all got back together. They came from Chutz La'aretz, and there were a couple hundred people there. And so the Friday morning, they were having a panel discussion on different styles of kiruv, They had somebody from Breslov, they had somebody from Lubavitch, and they had somebody from like a Torah type of person, and I was invited as one of Reb Shlomo's students. So the Chabad Shaliach, who was the Shaliach at Ben Gurion University, who he himself used to be a student in Panovich before he became a chassid. So he was explaining, the first thing he said was that, let it be clear that as far as Chabad is concerned, anybody who's out there working and bringing Jews back to Yiddishkeit is welcome. And we're not in competition with anybody. In other words, if Eish Torah is doing something, or Sameach, or any other organization, whoever is doing something, they're happy that Chabad is happy that they're doing it. And he gave an example. He said, like, this king wanted to build a new palace, and he wanted to get it done quickly. So the architects told him, if you'll have 3,000 people working on it, it'll take you like 2 years. If you have 6,000 people, it'll take half the time. So the king went ahead, he had 3,000 servants, and he went ahead and he hired another 3,000 laborers. Now, when you go to the construction site, how do you know who's a servant of the king and who's a hired worker? They're both carrying loads of bricks. They're both carrying things around and so on. When can you tell the difference? The difference is obvious when if somebody drops a load, so a servant of the king will go and help that person pick it up. But a hired laborer who's being paid for every batch that he delivers to the construction site, he's not going to go and help the other person, because if he puts down his load to help the other person pick it up, in the meantime he's losing some of his income. So he said, we're servants of Hashem. We're not interested that we should be the ones delivering all the goods. We're interested that the job should get done. And if you're participating in your way and you're participating in your way, then kol hakavod, we're happy that we're all doing this. Now, the more important thing that I want to say is this. So he went on to distinguish between the Rebbe's derech, which is, excuse me, are you Jewish? Yes? Oh, here are some candles to light for Shabbos, to light Shabbos candles. Would you like to put on tefillin? Whereas other organizations, they'll invite people to a talk, and they've got these planned speeches where they'll speak about this, which will hopefully get you to think about that, which will then lead to the next aspect of the speech, where then you'll think about this, and we'll talk more about that. And after we give you the whole speech, hopefully you'll come back for the next one, and eventually you'll come and take on mitzvahs. Whereas Chabad doesn't give a speech; they just go over. Reb Yid, are you Jewish? Yes. Would you like to put on tefillin? Right? Come on, let's put on tefillin. Are you Jewish? Here's some candles for lighting Shabbos candles. So he explained why is that. So he says, if a poor person comes to your door and asks and says they're hungry, you don't give them a speech about bread. You give them a slice of bread. You don't explain why they should eat bread. Right? A Jewish neshama that is starving is starving for a mitzvah. Everybody's neshama starving for a mitzvah. So the first thing that the neshama wants is a mitzvah. So you go over to a Yid and you say, listen, I would like to do a mitzvah. I would like to do a mitzvah with you. After they did the mitzvah, then you can already start talking and having a discussion about mitzvahs and why the mitzvah did this and that and so on and so on. But the first thing is that the neshama is hungry. Give them a mitzvah.
Sometimes without even asking.
Sometimes even without asking.
You bring the food over. Sometimes you need give you a meal. You bring the meal.
Absolutely. Okay. So in other words, when Reb Shlomo is saying over here is that like I'm reading a little bit into his words, right? But the first thing is not to give him a lecture about what's kosher, what's not kosher, and you better do this and you better do that and you better do that. First thing is give the person a mitzvah. Once the neshama has a mitzvah, then the brain starts working differently. A friend of mine has this big Chabad center in Montreal, and Kanena Horace, he started out in this, drink some coffee or some water, take a drink. Say l'chaim. Okay, but drink. Okay. It's okay. Do whatever you want. Shlomo wouldn't wake anybody up during the shiur.
Please wake me up.
No, he wouldn't. You know why? Because he said sometimes the neshama has to hear something and it doesn't want to have any resistance from the body. So the neshama tells the body, take a little nap. I want to listen without interference. Okay. So this particular Chabad house, Moshe News is the shaliach there. He started the whole thing years ago, over 30 years ago, in the Shmata districts. You know what Shmatas mean? You know what what a Shmata is? Shmata is textiles, rags.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he would go to the Shmata district, and there's always Jews in the Shmata district, and he started putting on tefillin with people, and these people became his shul is packed with people from the Shmata district now. On Shabbos morning, Shabbos morning, it's like mamish packed. It's a beautiful Chabad house. And it all started by putting on tefillin with these people and distributing Shabbos candles to the women and so on. And now they're learning, and they're learning Gemara, and they're learning Chassidus, and they're mamish learning, understand? They've become quite knowledgeable, many of them, and so on. So that's that's the Rebbe Shitlis. Give the person what he needs most of all right away. Okay? And it's also interesting that we can go into a whole talk about that, so I'm not going to do that now. But that's the idea. Is the person wants to know, he wants to be connected about. Now what? So you would say, well, wait a minute. Before you put on tefillin, I should explain to you how tefillin are connecting you above. That's not true. It's the mitzvah itself. The fact that you're doing the mitzvah, because you know that this is a mitzvah, and you're doing it, the mitzvah does its work without your intellectual explanation. In fact, your intellectual explanation might actually get in the way.
There's an expression that was used right after the giving of the Torah, Na'aseh v'nishma.
Before giving the Torah.
You said it before giving the Torah, Na'aseh v'nishma?
I know what you do. Kol asher diber Hashem Na'aseh, and then later in chapter 24 it says Na'aseh v'nishma, but it's before the Torah was given. Okay? That's what makes it so great, is that we accepted it without saying what's written in it. Okay? So he says like this: Mashiach ben Yosef magia kodem. First comes Mashiach ben Yosef. In other words, kodem kasher oti lemala. First of all, connect me with the above. Let me ask you something. Are you allowed to do profane or desecrate Shabbos for a person who's sick? So you might answer that yes, you're allowed to if necessary, if it's a danger and so on. Lo nachon. Not true. It's not b'di'eved that really we don't want to desecrate Shabbos, but since we have to, we will for a sick person. No. Ela ki im likatchila. This is what you're supposed to be doing. It's not right. And in fact, it's brought in Shulchan Aruch that if Chas v'Shalom there's somebody, let's say in shul, collapses, right? Dafke the rabbi should be the one to be Mechalel Shabbos to help this person. Why? Because if he doesn't, people are going to think that really it's not so okay, that we have to do it, and they might prevent themselves from doing what's necessary when necessary. So Dafke the rabbi should be. There's a story with there was a plague of a disease was going around Prague, and the morale and people were dying left and right, and the morale on Yom Kippur morning, even though he himself wasn't sick, he got up. They finished Shacharis. He got up and he made Kiddush and said to everybody, eat. Fasting is dangerous today. And I'm sure that he was sure that he could manage to fast, but the Katchila, he himself made Kiddush. So what's Reb Shlomo's point? Please hold on. Okay. So what's I'm in the middle of the paragraph. So Kiyim Likatchila, it's like Mamish Likatchila. Dafki La'adam Shomer Shabbat im Kol HaNidurim. Dafki, the person who is keeping Shabbos with all the minutiae. Dafki Lo Yesh HaZchut Lechalel Shabbat B'Shvil Adam Choleh. Dafki, he's the one who has the merit, who should be the one that's going to go be Mechalel Shabbos. Yesh Lo HaZchut. He's the one that has the merit to do that. What did you want to say?
I want to say here The idea of role model is very important for someone who has awareness. Someone who has awareness of what's right and the general public doesn't have, or many other people around don't have. That person, because he knows more, I believe, has a moral imperative to do so publicly so other people can learn from him and not think, oh, I'm going to be modest about it. I think modesty here would be.
And that's why also, and that's why also we have this mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem and Chilul Hashem. As Jews, we have to be extra careful to do what's right and not to do anything wrong, because right away everyone is going to say, look at what the Jew is doing, As a matter of fact, I don't know if you noticed, but just a few days ago, the United States was bombing in Syria, and they killed a bunch of civilians and children.
130.
Huh?
Around 130.
I don't know how many.
That's
But I don't see CNN or anybody making a big fuss about it.
No problem.
But if the Israeli army, the terrorist is holding a child. I don't know if you ever saw the video clips. They take children and they hold them in bags as a shield, and they hide in hospitals, right? But if we do something so fine. There's a double standard. Should there be a double standard? Yes. Should the double standard be used in the way that they're using it? No. But there is a double standard. The Torah makes a double standard, right? So he says like this: Pam hayta sefat rabbanim, vayusham gedolei hador. There was a gathering of rabbis, and the great leaders of the generation were there. Reb Chaim Ibrisk, Reb Chaim Oizer, v'od echad, u'mishu chala, and somebody got sick. And he was שתדעו Reb Chaim Brisker כיבד את Reb Chaim Oizer להדליק את התנור בשבת. So Reb Chaim Brisker said to Reb Chaim Oizer, here, you can take the honor of lighting the stove. Reb Chaim Oizer כיבד את Reb Chaim Brisker להכין את המרק. And Reb Chaim Oizer said to the Brisker, okay, now I'll let you have the honor of cooking the soup. Ken, hey, mamash kibdu zeh. They were honoring each other with this mitzvah.
Wow.
Zohi haschut hagdola biyoter ba'olam. It's the biggest merit in the world to save somebody's life, right? Kama alafim ba'im lakotel המערבי הקדוש ממש מחפשים קשר אחד. How many thousands of people are coming to the Kotel and they're looking for one connection, right? מה כל כך מיוחד היום? What's so special today? Page 202. אנשים צריכים רק קשר אחד עם למעלה. People just need one connection and then everything else will follow. One connection above. אני רוצה לומר לכם משהו. Right? Like, what's it called? Some of you might remember, today I have no idea how many hundreds of minyanim are doing Friday night Kabbalah Shabbos with Reb Shlomo's music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, for example, you come into Mayanot or Friday night, the entire shul is like davening, And I remember, the way it used to be before, Friday night, Kabbalah Shabbos. And then we would sing a little bit of the Chodaidi, 1, 2, 3, and then Mizmor Shul Shabbos, and finish, knock it off, right? And the sleep is, we want to get home and already go to sleep, and so on, right? And today, tens of thousands of Jews are mamish davening Kabbalah Shabbos, right? And how did it start? It started with one nigun, you know what I mean? It started starts with one connection. So we need one connection, right? אני רוצה לומר לכם משהו, I want to tell you something. יצחק אמר לי יעקב, הכל כל יעקב הידיים ידי עשיו. Yitzchak says to Yaakov, I hear the voice of Jacob, but the hands seem to be the hands of Esav. L'shem ma yesh yadayim, b'shvil kesher. What do we need hands for? Hands are for making connections. Yitzchak amar li Yaakov. So Yitzchak says to Yaakov, Kol od nevach Yaakov lo kol kach tov. So long as Yaakov, if Chas v'Sholom is not so great, it's not so good, Harei hayadayim lo yitafkedu, then the hands are not going to function properly. Understand what he's saying? Lo yeh kesher. In other words, in order for the hands to make connections, there has to be the voice of Jacob. Okay? I tell you, in other words,
Where do you see that in the, how do you read this passage?
he's reading it, Hakol kol Yaakov v'hayadayim yedei Esav. It's not hayadayim yedei Esav separately. He's saying the voice of Jacob, v'hayadayim, is putting the voice and the hands together. So, but it has to be the voice of Yaakov. It has to be the voice of inclusion, right? Yaakov is from Yaakov and on, that all his descendants are if you're born a Jew, you're a Jew. Like we were learning the other day, right? He said imagine the Pope calls up Reb Feinstein says, and he's forgot to say Yalavi of an invention. So we have to repeat the benching. And Reb Feinstein says, of course, you have to repeat the Birkat Hamazon. But he says, Rabbi Feinstein, didn't you hear? I said, I'm the Pope in Rome. He says, I don't care what you are. You're a Jew. You have to repeat the benching. Right? So that's Yaakov. Yaakov, huh? Yaakov puts us all, is the neshama, the all-inclusive neshama for all the Jewish people. So it's when you have that inclusion in your voice, right? Then the hands will also work. Do you realize the depth of this? What kind of a world we're living in? There was a time where every Jew was somehow connected to the Torah, even the ignorant ones. But what Yidden needed was they needed places to learn, right? In other words, as long as anybody could afford to find a place to learn, they went to learn. But today, much to my pain, 85% of the Jewish people don't seem to be connected to the Torah. And not because there aren't enough places to learn. Right? The problem is that we don't have enough people to help people connected, to help them connect with the Torah. אני יכול לקנות ספרים בכריכה רכה ללמוד איך לשמור שבת. I can buy even soft-bound books about how to keep Shabbos. ספרים יש מספיק, there are enough books. אבל איפה בית המקדש השלישי? But where is the third בית המקדש? Meaning to say, איפה הקשר? Where is the connection? איפה הקרבה? Where is the closeness? חברים, מדוע מנשקים את הכותל המערבי הקדוש? מדוע לא מנשקים את בניין התאומים? So now you know that this was said before 9/11. Okay? So why do people kiss the kotel and nobody goes, you don't see anybody kissing the Twin Towers? כי אני לא קשור לבניין התאומים, אלו רק אבנים. I'm not connected to it. I'm not connected to the Twin Towers. It's just a structure of the stones or concrete or whatever. אני רק רוצה שתחשבו על זה. I want you to think about this. אני מנשק רק דבר שמקשר אותי למעלה. I only kiss something which connects me above. זה כל כך עמוק, כל כך עמוק. וכאן, and here, דעו לכם את עומק העומקים, know this deepest of the depths. כשהמרגלים חזרו למדבר, when the spies came back to the wilderness, השם אמר, אני לא נותן לכם את ארץ ישראל. Hashem said, I'm not giving you Israel. I'm not giving you Israel. Zman Rav, for a long time. Hashem gam yada sheniyeh begalut ad shemashiach yavo, and Hashem also knew that we're going to be in exile till Mashiach comes. לכן ריבונו של עולם נתן לנו את מצוות ציצית. And that's why Hashem gave us the mitzvah of tzitzit. מדוע מנשקים, page 203, מדוע מנשקים את הציצית? So why do we kiss the ציצית? כי הציצית עושה מה שארץ ישראל עושה. Because tzitzits do the same thing that Eretz Yisrael does, something similar. Eretz Yisrael מקשרת אותנו למעלה. Eretz Yisrael connects us to above. But tzitzit מקשרת אותנו למעלה, and also tzitzit connects us with above. Gevald ze kadosh, gevald ze amok. Right? So you know the Gemara says, what's the idea of the patil techelet, of the blue thread on the tzitzit? So the blue is like the color of the sea. The color of the sea is like the color of the sky. The color of the sky is like the color of the kisei hakavod, of the throne of glory, right? So, in other words, the mitzvah of tzitzis is all about connecting above, okay? And Eretz Yisrael is all about connecting above. But the spies didn't think that we could do it. So that's why Hashem tells us that we can't go into Eretz Yisrael. And then following that is the mitzvah of Challah, which we were learning about with Rabbi Fink today, right? And following that is the mitzvah of tzitzis. Zochrim, you remember? Korach haya neged tzitzit. Korach was against wearing tzitzis. Mi tzarich kesher. Who needs the connection? Who needs the knot? Right? What did he do? He dressed up his 250 people in garments that were completely dyed in tchelet. They were completely blue. And he said to Moshe Rabbeinu, does this garment have to have tzitzis? Moshe Rabbeinu says, yes, it has to have tzitzis. So he started making fun. If a regular garment that isn't blue, one thread of tchelet is sufficient. So if the entire garment is already blue, what do you need to have the tzitzis for, right? So Korach says, Kol ha'edah kulam kedoshim. Everybody is holy. Ata kadosh, lama tzarich kesher. You're holy, everybody is holy. Why do I need you to be my connection? Zeh tipshi, zeh dibur chasidi. You know, כמו שמישהו אמר לי, אל תגידי תורות של חסידים. Right? It's like Korach is saying, it's ridiculous. Who needs this? It's like you're telling me a Hasidic word. Somebody said to Reb Shlomo, Shlomo says that somebody said to him once, he says, tell me a Dvar Torah, but don't give me a Hasidic word, you know. Korach hu misnaged kar. Korach is a cold misnaged. Hu omer gevald kulam kedoshim. Shmor Shabbat, tadlik nerot b'shemen, atah kohen agadol. He's saying to everybody is holy, keep Shabbos, light the candles with oil, using oil, you're a Kohen Gadol. אבל אתם יודעים מה? Korach לא יכול לקשר אף אחד. Korach didn't have the ability to connect anyone. מה היה עושה אהרון? What was the greatness of Aaron? הוא היה יכול לקחת עץ יבש, he was able to take a dry piece of wood, ולפעול שיגדל and make it blossom, make it grow. מדוע? כי הוא מקשר אותו עם מעלה. Because with Aaron, everything was connected with the above. Okay, so again and again and again, the same thing is being said and emphasized, and we can't hear it often enough. The idea is to remember it's all about connection, right? It's all about connection. And now, it doesn't mean that if you're doing the mitzvah and you don't feel connected that you should stop doing the mitzvah, God forbid. It just means that take a moment and think about why you're doing the mitzvah. That the mitzvah, the word mitzvah itself, which means commandment, is also can also be translated as the connector. right?
Mm-hmm.
The Hebrew for pliers is tzvat, tzadik vav vav tav. With pliers, you put things together. The Hebrew for a team is tzevet or tzavta. Is a group of people sharing a common purpose, a common goal, right? The mitzvah is that which connects the mitzvah, the one who's commanding the mitzvah, with the one who is mitzvah, the commandee, who's obligated to do the mitzvah. That's so a mitzvah is a connector, and in doing a mitzvah, we have to think about that this is a way of connecting with Hashem. Because the question is, how could man who is finite connect with God who is infinite? The gap between finite and infinite is always infinite. So what could a man do, what could a person do to bridge that gap? And the answer is, we can't do anything. It's only because Hashem is providing the bridge that we can connect. And what is the bridge that Hashem provides? The bridge that Hashem provides is Torah and mitzvahs. Someone's at the door, please. Someone's at the door. Okay, so they came in. Oh, it's Ashley. Okay, so Mr. Hashem, we're going to continue tomorrow. And
you're teaching till next Wednesday?
Till next
Wednesday. And when are you coming back after that?
August 23rd. And this man is going to begin again at the beginning of August.
August 23rd.
In the meantime, no, the beginning of August is in September. September 3rd or the 4th.
When is this class beginning again?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet.
I'll see how I'm doing. When I come back. Okay, very good. Have a safe trip.
Thank you.
And I'll give you some shliach for yourself. How many of you are going back? Just you and your husband?
Yeah,
And everybody else
everyone else is
already back.
Thank you.
Doesn't have to be that close.
Oh, okay. Eddie already went, and the others have got a couple more weeks to stay in some of the other marrieds.
There was a young man here last night for Rabbi Sutton's class. He was at the wedding also. Jeff, I think is his name.
Jeff Horrich?
I don't remember last name. He didn't tell me last name. Yeah, but he's learning at Asians in a couple of places like that.
So nice to see you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you,
See you next time.
It should be
What's your
simple.
Ricky Portman.
Your husband's all supporting you?
Yeah, Joe. Thank you.
You originally from Manchester?
Yeah.
You born there?
No, but his uncle was.
Were you born there?
No, London.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I hear it.